Another reason why, without the real guides and the opportunity they provide, we would very much be entrenched in creation and at the mercy of the cause and effect generator of constant experience that are the 5 body vehicles. For we may well become conscious of this process and seek to glean control of our idea, thoughts and emotions. But the subconscious flow of ideas will be beyond our ability to regulate. And like any idea creation, if it embeds in the mental vehicle, and especially if we are unconscious of its specifics, there it can sit for incalculable lifetimes and constantly set the stage and dynamics of our lifetime experiences. Naturally, a subliminal idea will be courtesy of the controllers and will be of a design that will reinforce, maintain, and add to the other indoctrinated and programmed idea agreements that keep us in the prison yard. And so we carry much dross with us by the time each day is complete. However, our real self-connection has us removed from it to the extent that we are able, in that most of the mud will fall away, for it comes to a point where it's more about how we deal with our situations more so. It's how we see them. Far more conscious of what's going on, we can simply walk through the experiences we find ourselves in, without incorporating any of it into our personal selves, without adding to our created consciousness. And for that which has slipped through when we sing our New You song and slip from the physical for our nightly real side excursions, what we have accumulated in the day will be wiped clean. The real guides will take care of the idea taplines we have gathered, particularly those that have bombarded the created self subconsciously. Although it's not a case that we can do whatever we want and assume the guides will clean up the mess, we must demonstrate our sincerity to get with the process of ease recognition. We must prove ourselves that the guides see the merit in offering their tapline clearing assistance. And even with sincerity of real intent recognized, we can cling onto a few taplines for whatever reason we may have. Some are harder to release than others, and perhaps perhaps some we may hold on to till the very end. The guides will not remove anything we decide to keep, for as the deciders of our experience as free will beings, they cannot violate this free will, as it is a cosmic law, and should they do so, which they could very readily, then they would get themselves into trouble, as they operate from positions of real awareness. Everything the guides do is from a place of purity and integrity, like the ears. They just are, and shine upon all, with no agenda or attitude, much like the sun, as it shines upon all, and asks nothing in return. The New You song also is very instrumental, as it is the pure light sound connection to the real universes, and as such it carries the essence of the true reality in its vibration as we sing it. The New You song will be a further demonstration of our acceptance of the real guides and their assistance, for they must be invited into our experience. Singing the New You song before bed will connect us very strongly with the true reality, that our real side will be more so productive for our ongoing process, as opposed to perhaps just personal self-experiences. The New You will fragment old patterns of behaviour and routines. It will disintegrate old tapline agreements. It will wash through the created self like a wave of pure light, and cleans the vehicles of all that would have ensured we must remain the effect of. Again, we must do our part. We must decide, accept, acknowledge, and release these tapline agreements as they become known to us. Very often we will have real side experiences where the tapline being removed will produce the very experience where it was formed, the lifetime or situation where the agreement or attachment was decided upon, in other words, and these could be from thousands of lifetimes ago. A little like therapy, where the psychiatrist may release subconscious trauma, and in doing so, the memory of the forgotten events, how they are censored to protect the conscious self, will return to the individual. And it is so that fragmenting these old and possibly thousands of lifetimes ago taplines can produce flashbacks, and causal akashic memory reruns of the experiences at that time. I always know when the experiences are such flashbacks to previous lifetimes, because they will always seem very familiar, even though I have not had the experience in this current lifetime. And of course they will seem familiar, as they are simply experiences filed in our Akashic records, although some will be very hard to grasp on waking, but make perfect sense on the real side. The real self is orchestrating events always, and knows exactly what to do. Nothing would seem strange from its perspective or view, as it oversees creation and all the lifetimes of its created personal self ever lived. It is only the limited personal self-awareness that may have concerns, misunderstandings, and be puzzled as to what's going on, as it can only draw upon the references and experiences it has had in our current lifetime. Imagine then a tapline agreement formed in an alien civilization that is so different from our current one that we have no point of reference by which we can understand it. And then we may have a rerun or a flashback to this very alien lifetime, as the tapline is chosen for its removal. For the real self, nothing about this alien world would seem strange, and depending on the extent by which we stand in our real awareness will dictate to what degree the alien experience makes sense on the real side. The personal self is always along for the experience, but it is the real you having the experiences, and where we decide to be in our awareness, the personal or the real self dictates to what degree we can understand or even perceive the experience. If we are locked into the personal self, all these experiences can be going on, but we are limiting our view to only that of the personal self. If we are very much physical astral, we can't see beyond the filters of these aspects of the personal self. Our experience is always the extension of what we decide, what we focus on, and what we decide to limit ourselves to. Everything is going on simultaneously in every new moment, because everything is an isness, as the experiencer We are simply deciding what we choose to see, according to how we have constructed the personal self. With awareness comes the knowledge of greater aspects of the personal self, and more expansive experiences throughout all of creation, as opposed to just experiencing the most dense parts of our creation. We are always the experience of ourselves, and it's as limited as we choose it to be. It's not then that we are suddenly having experiences throughout creation on the real side. We always were. It's just now we are aware of the potentiality of them, and are moving our awareness beyond just the physical, astral parts of ourselves. The personal self requires the experiences for its awareness, that we can get more views and comparisons to recognize the is by. But unless we have these experiences, unless we are able to perceive experiences that are always going on, we are not going to be making headway in our process of becoming more aware.